Anyway, we are here. It's the morning disaster. And they're already in the chat room saying happy birthday, Elijah. So it's the happy birthday, Elijah show. It's actually happy birthday to Brent, listener Brent. He's one of our biggest listeners. It's his birthday today. He probably tuned in at 8 o'clock. We weren't here, and he went, fuck it, and went back to bed. So anyway, how you doing, Rocky?
Great. How are you?
Well,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm miserable, but that's all right. I got everything working now, so we're good. It's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a day. I'm telling you. But it's all working. I got it hooked up. At least I figured. You want to know the funny thing is, I figured out the problem because the stream was down. So I figured out exactly what was wrong because of this morning. So at least I'll be able to fix it. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to this special show, which will be the last. We're gonna figure out how to do the Friday subscription show now. Well, we'll probably go with the original, right? The original idea, Nick, that we were gonna do. Is that what we're leaning towards? Because
I'm thinking so.
Yeah,
we just need to figure out the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I mean, we actually can record. We could record that one if we want, but at a different day or different time or whatever. So
yeah.
Anyway, we are here. So that's why we're late today. We are hooked up and going. Rocky, I started with this song, which I knew you would like it, but here's the song I started the show with today. Listen to this one.
Right.
Got a side job being a DJ in business for myself. I've got excellent equipment all encased in a nice mobile shelf. Business is great. It's really more skill than luck. One thing's for sure. I make more than $30 because I'm not Sean Valent. I'm not Sean Valent. I'm not Sean Valent. Oh no, I'm not Sean Valent.
I rarely ever get lazy. I rarely ever mope. When people ask me if I live with Bodine, I can honestly say nope. I called up my best girl, even though it was late, made plans for next Friday night, and I kept the date. Because I'm not Sean Valent. I'm not Sean Valent. I'm not Sean Valent. I'm not Sean Valent.
My phone bill came yesterday, and I paid it, because I'm not Sean Valent.
I'm not Sean Valent.
I'm not Sean Valent.
I'm Sean Valent.
Sean Valent! There was the I'm not Sean Valent sequel.
Right.
That was a
cast of all-stars at the end there.
Yeah. That was a sequel. By the way, that was Jack the Silent Intern's single biggest contribution to the Morning Disaster Show was a line of my phone bill came and I paid it. Which was fantastic. Yeah.
Somebody was saying the other day, how could Jim afford, such an expensive phone when nobody else had? That's how. You buy the phone and then just don't pay any other phone bills.
Well, at the time, Jimmy was working at Caterpillar.
Right.
So that's why. And then Caterpillar went on strike. And he was getting strikers pay and stuff. And he was walking the picket line from like 2 in the afternoon to 4 or something. That's how he was able to pay for everything. So he was making good money at Caterpillar. And he dropped it to get in radio, which I never, Good for him. I mean, his son
obviously wasn't for the money.
Well, he died. He literally died before his pension kicked in. But his son got the pension, I think, like a year after Jimmy died or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and it was pretty nice because Jimmy worked there for a long, long time. In fact, the guy that ended up marrying his ex-wife worked with Jimmy on the same shift.
Right.
and this because that's how he could go bang Jim's wife. Because
That was like a country song waiting to be written.
yeah, he would go into work. He would go into work, and then he'd see Jim at work, and then he would say he was sick, and he would leave work, and he would go bang Jim's wife. He didn't have to worry about Jim coming home because he knew Jimmy was at work.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. I want to say that he caught him because Jim ended up leaving work sick one day, and that's when he came home and found his wife was banging another guy. It was because of he left. I remember he left work sick or something. That's how.
And that's when he started answering the door with erections.
Yeah.
After that day.
Well, no,
It's all payback.
that took time. I can tell you another story of when I was in Peoria. Of him, he brought some. We went to. It was me and him and Big Petey. And we went to some bar, and he picked up some woman. I don't know if he got her in the bar or something, but she met him back at the radio station. And Donnie Egan from the Snappers, my band, was on the air. And so we stopped by the radio station, and I went upstairs to go talk to Donnie. And Jimmy had the girl in the women's bathroom taking care of business. And then he ended up walking into the studio, of course, naked and fully aroused. And he goes, "Hey, I'm in the middle of banging this hot babe down." And he like goes into brag to us, and we're like, "You're in the middle of it? Like, you're in the middle of banging? Why are you here?" And he goes, "Hey, I just wanted."
Hey, I'll be right back after this.
I wanted her to meet Donnie. And all of a sudden this girl comes around the corner buck naked saying hi to Donnie. He was such an odd man. But I remember that happening too. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of Sean Balint. Some Sean Balint stuff today. And that's why I played the I'm Not Sean Balint song.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I guess everything in the song about the $30 and the not paying, it's all
true.
it's all true.
Because there's no one that makes bad decisions. I mean, the guy makes the worst decisions in the world. He still does.
Is he still paying for the fitness center that he stopped going to 25 years ago or went to one day or whatever?
God knows. I'm sure there's.
That was a big thing for quite a while.
I'm sure he's paying another. I'm sure he's paying for another fitness, some kind of fitness enrollment. Because that's Shawnee. I'll play. I have a bunch of Sean bits I can play. But first, a disclaimer.
WQLZ and Midwest Family are not responsible for anyone falling asleep during Sean Balint's newscast. This includes, but is not limited to, falling asleep at home, the office, or even on your drive to work. Listen at your own risk. WQLZ does not recommend listening if you are pregnant, over the age of 75, or if you like entertaining newscasts. For a complete list of health-related risks surrounding Sean Balint's newscast, call 1-800-SEAN-IS-BORING. That's 1-800-SEAN-IS-BORING.
When did we start the whole Sean Balint's news will put you to sleep? That was like what?
I don't know, because that must have been. I don't remember that one.
That was late. We did that. That bit was the disclaimer came in like 2003, 2004. But I'm saying that when did we?
I don't know. I just it must have been after I was gone, because I remember. Well, you had lazy world news and stuff like that. But
remember one of the best things ever is when you wrote the bit for Balintrogen. And that was
I don't remember that either.
That was a Rocky thing. You wrote a bit for a pill called Balintrogen, which was a pill that when you take it, it makes you lazy. And I just remember, to this day, I will refer to him as Balintrogen.
I just remember the ones I did where he was radio Sean Balint, and he would pop on and
Oh yeah.
That's the worst moment, and tell people
Like-
like he'd show up at funerals and tell people how to get a good deal on a funeral.
You
or-
mean this one?
I'm so sorry for your loss.
yes.
It's such a beautiful service.
You call this a beautiful service? Hi, I'm Radio Sean Billette for Right Slab Funeral Home.
What the hell?
Excuse me, can you keep your voice down, please?
I'm just so excited about the deals they have at Right Slab Funeral Home that I can't keep from shouting about it.
Well, maybe this isn't the right time.
When is the right time? Right now, I can show you all the things Right Slab has to offer.
Does this place have some security? I mean,
Look at the way this poor stiff's lips are sewn shut. It's all wrong. Here, let me just rip those out. At Right Slab, they really do it right. That man would have a smile on his dead, bloated, blue face if you would have chosen Right Slab.
that'll be just about enough, Al.
Oh, I see. We went the cheap route on the casket, too.
That casket cost $2,000.
Oh, Jennifer, don't.
$2,000? Boy, did you get screwed. We have a better casket at Right Slab for a mere $1,500.
I don't believe
Believe it, just $1,500. And this month only get our murder-suicide special. 2 caskets for the price of 1. Must be legally proven murder-suicide not valid in New Hampshire. Void where prohibited. Some restrictions may apply. Don't let this happen to you. Call Right Slab right now. I'm Radio's Sean Billette for Right Slab Funeral Home.
Oh god damn, it's so funny. To this day, that's probably one of the funniest things ever. Oh my god.
He had a series of those. He would teach. He taught sex education.
Yeah,
He
believe
he
it.
was on a construction site for something, hemorrhoid cream or something.
I just visualize him just popping up at a
Popping up and being, hey,
rip
at a
those.
funeral.
I'm gonna rip those lips or whatever. Oh my god, it was so. It was just so fun. Here's another one. We should have probably gotten in more trouble for this. There's one especially when they're talking about it being caught in midair. Listen to the. Here's another bit that was along the same
midair.
lines. Yeah, there's a line about something being caught midair that's so dirty. The FCC did not get us for it. They probably should have.
Oh, this is so wonderful. I've waited for this for so long.
Our honeymoon is just the way I imagined
Just us here alone. Oh, I just wish we could just cherish this moment forever.
Hey, gang, I'm Radio's Sean Billette.
What the hell?
Now you can save those honeymoon memories for a lifetime with Intimate Moments Photography.
Get out!
Let's face it, Guy, she's never going to look this good again. Might as well get it on film.
Well, now that's a good point.
What?
Absolutely. Intimate Moments Photography uses only the most professional photographers, only the best print paper.
I'll just set up the camera right here.
And what camera are you using today?
Well, Sean, I've brought the Home Best 110 no flash disposable.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we better open these curtains and let some light in.
But I'm indecent.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. You're fairly decent looking. I like that supple ass. Okay, then, let's get on with the show.
George, are you going to do something?
Hey, George, why don't you stand on the bed like that?
Hey, now, what?
Is that light good?
Great, Sean.
And if you'll just take this, ma'am, put that right there. There you go.
Hey, wait a minute.
No, just go with it.
What? I can't believe this is happening.
Hey, a real chatterbox, huh? Why don't you take this and there you go. You know what to do.
These are going to turn out great.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it.
Come on, give a big smile.
I am
Okay, and a couple for the parents. Wave to the camera.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I caught one in midair.
Nice going. We'll use that one for the center spread.
Well, Sean, if we did that, it'd be out of order.
Good thinking. Best to put that photo at the end.
Oh,
Remember, when you want your most private times crystallized on film forever to share again and again, think of Intimate Moments Photography. I'm Radio's Sean Billette.
another one of those Sean Billette.
I forgot about that one.
Oh my! You see
That
what?
made it to air?
You know what? Yeah, we played that on the air. They never caught it.
Wow.
And the whole thing is, Rocky wrote it, and it wasn't dirty enough with caught that in midair. He had to be clear.
He never says anything. It's all could be caught catching anything in there.
Just in case the FCC didn't get what it was, he actually had to reiterate by saying, "Oh, put that one at the end."
Right.
Yeah. Because we had to make sure they knew exactly we were talking about the cum
That's
shot.
amazing.
Oh my God, those spots I love. Those commercials were so funny. But there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, there were, like I said, I remember there was something about a construction site. And there was one about teaching sex ed.
Yeah, here's the sex ed.
There was like 10 of them.
Here's a sex ed one. This is pretty good.
Mom, like now that I'm in high school, I'm noticing I'm becoming a woman. I need to talk to you about sex.
Well, I'm so proud that you came to me. Yes, it's time we had that talk. Sit down. I knew this day would come, and I've been dreading it. How can I talk to my daughter about anything like that? I don't even know much myself. It's not like my mother ever had this talk with me. She was a crack whore who ran away when I was just 3. Well, I want to be there for my daughter. I just wish I had some advice. Well, just remember, there's going to be plenty of pressure on you to do things that you might not feel comfortable with. It's important that you know there's nothing you have to do. You can always say no. Make that your first rule, and you'll be a happy person.
You mean you'll be an uptight prude that no one wants to talk to?
Oh my God! Mom, who is this?
I'm radio's Sean Billette for Teen Sex Today.
Mom, he's in my room.
Yes, and I've brought the Teen Sex Today complete video course with me.
Video course?
Of course. I understand you. Like so many mothers today, we're unsure about how to talk to your daughter about sex. These videos will help answer all those difficult questions. First, young lady, how old are you?
I'm 7.
Again, how old are you?
18.
See, she's learning already. Let me put this video in from some random spot and let the lessons begin.
Now with the palm of your hand, perform the rotating motion on the top. Don't do this for too long or you could cause a heart attack.
What the hell kind of tape is this?
Shh, Mom, I'm learning.
That's right. It's either learn it the right way here in the comfort of your home or in a back alley somewhere.
Well, that's a good point, Mom.
And always make sure you tell the guy you're going to do this. There's nothing worse than the snowball surprise. Some boyfriends
What is
don't
this
like
video
that.
talking about?
Well, maybe we should sit down and watch too. You might learn something. The Teen Sex Today series is meant for daughter and mother.
Well, it's very explicit.
After all that time putting on your makeup and doing your hair, you don't want to get it all messed up. That's why you have to remember, suck, then duck. But you should still keep a towel handy
I
just
think
in case
that's
you're not
just
quick
about
enough to
enough. This tape has stuff on here my daughter doesn't need to know about. Stuff I don't even know about, and I went to Taylorville High. Like, what is this right here?
Oh, well, you need a straw and funnel for that. Do you have
Oh,
one?
never mind. Why don't you show something useful on here if you're going to be X-rated? Maybe like the correct way to put a condom on, for God's sake.
Well, this is just a sample tape. Let me check if it's on here. Let's see. Titty f***ing when you only wear a training bra, how to get an A in health class, 3 muscles you need to relax. You know, I don't see it on here.
Ugh.
Now, don't get discouraged. I have some condoms right here. Let me just whip this out.
Oh, Mom.
He's already ready.
Pervert! Now, how do you do this? You just roll it on?
Oh, yeah. I think she's going to pass with flying colors. I'm radio's Sean Billette for Teen Sex Today. Call 10 to 12 for 17 right now.
Oh, my God. See, I'm telling you, Sean, if you give a good script to Sean, nobody reads a script like him. The guy is great. Because
But that was one of my top 5 favorite lines I ever did, was the one where the mom says, she's learning all these things that I never even knew, and I went to Taylorville High.
I love that. And I went to Taylorville High. I know one of the women's Buffy.
She was named Ginny, and I think she was a salesperson. If not, she was an office. I think she was a salesperson, though. It was
really
Ginny,
good.
Ginny. It
Was really good.
She was really good, too. She was like Martha Stewart and something. And
Oh, my God. And then there's the whole concept of when you're listening to it, you literally visualize Sean Billette just popping in. You know what I mean? And it's true. I mean, it's just the funniest. If you actually know what Sean looks like, and now with Facebook and stuff, we all know what Sean looks like. When you take that into consideration, it's funny to just visualize him popping up. And I can't remember who our program director was. Whoever it was, when one of these came out, they said they were. By the way, the program directors were allowed to critique certain things and not others. They could not critique the comedy. But this guy tried. And he said, well, radio's not a visual medium. And I was like, are you out of your mind? Who isn't visualizing?
Right.
I said,
the theater of the mind is
I
what
said,
they used to call it.
good radio is a visual medium because you actually see it. You're hearing it, and it's so good that you're seeing what's going on. And that's and we had an argument specifically about one of these commercials. I do have.
Make sure you're given time and temp.
Yeah. Make sure. I want. Give the weather at least every 10 minutes.
We had people like Jim who were way, way ahead of their time, and then we had other people who were not ahead of their time.
I want the Ray. You want actual conversation? Ray, you want to know the biggest problem with the morning disaster? And I go, "What? I'll be interested because I don't think we have any." You want to know the biggest problem we have with the morning disaster? What? You don't give the time enough. I'll be like, "Oh, son of a bitch, you don't give the time enough." And we had a big argument.
He must be an excellent, excellent show if that's the big problem.
He was such a good program director, he's not even radio anymore. By the way, you don't give the time enough was the biggest problem. And I go, you know what? They could buy a fucking watch.
If a listener,
I wonder which program director you're talking about.
He's not in radio anymore. That's all I'll say. He's also a big Trumper.
I was getting ready to say, is he currently sitting at home just doing that share the meme thing?
And
I know there's one doing that.
That's what
come on, dude.
He said the biggest problem. Nick, you listened to the show, right? Do you think there's a big problem? I didn't give the time enough.
Yeah, you should say the time more often.
That was a problem. Is I didn't give people.
You should.
I remember telling him.
Because when I listen to the radio, the first thing I want to know is the moment I tune in is the time.
Yeah, what time is it?
Because it doesn't say that right on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. I need to verify that my clock is set correctly on my radio. So I need you to tell me the time.
It was back when we had.
So what time is it?
This was back when we had ratings, and the ratings. This is when the ratings came out, and we skyrocketed. All right. I mean, seriously, the ratings went from we were in the upper teens. We went to like 30 something. I mean, it was one of our.
If I was your program director, I would have just let you guys go and sat back and reaped the rewards. But there was a couple that just wanted to be always involved. It's like, go program the music.
Yeah. If you program good music, and by the way, we did have some good program directors. We had good program directors. We had good program directors that said, just do your thing. Just win. Because when you do your thing, it makes me look good. And I appreciated those guys that said that. But the other ones, they wanted to have something. They knew we were going to win. They wanted to have something that they could say, oh, I was responsible for that. But I remember in this one particular case, we got some of the biggest ratings. That's when we went number 1 12 plus. And they were like, and Tom Kushak said, well, let's do a big giveaway where we're going to give away a shitload of money or something. And I was in the meeting with the program director, and I said, I know what we can give away. Let's give away clocks. I said, because some people are very concerned with the fucking time. So if we give away, we should just give every listener a clock. And the guy wouldn't say anything.
So, I remember some of those meetings. That wasn't. I got a favorite meeting. We'll talk about sometime. But I remember. I remember those. Get involved. I've got an idea. Don't do this. I don't think this sounds good. Don't do that anymore. And it was like the second most popular bit.
Now the most popular thing is they got to have operations directors too. So you have, more than one person throwing in their ideas. Oh my God. Oh, just the worst with the operations. Radio, somehow they don't pay morning guys shit anymore. And now they've added another level of management. And they can't figure out why it's dying.
Somebody else to come in and say stuff like, you should call it the morning circus.
Yeah.
That sounds like what you guys do. It's a circus.
Here's another.
Here come the dancing elephant.
Here's another visualization bit that Sean Bulent did. Now this one you have to visualize a couple ladies walking on the beach. All right? For this one.
And they're wearing watches.
What a lovely day at the beach.
Yeah, too bad. I can't really enjoy it fully.
Why not?
Well, I've got that not so fresh feeling.
I hate when that happens.
I know. I wish there was something I could do.
Hi, ladies. I'm Radio's Sean
Oh,
Bulent.
Jesus.
You scared the hell out of me.
Who are you?
I'm Radio's Sean Bulent for Summer's Eve.
That's nice.
You got your cell phone on, Cindy. Call the police.
Summer's Eve for when you want to walk away from the ocean and not keep smelling like you're still there.
Excuse me?
Summer's Eve when you want to wash that man right out of your hair.
Oh, that's enough.
Summer's Eve. It's so clean I can see myself. Here, ladies, try it.
Well, all right.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, ladies. I'm Radio's Sean Bulent for Summer's Eve.
Ugh.
This damn thing's empty.
I remember that one.
The fact that they're walking to the beach and somehow
Right.
it drops on a hardwood floor. All right. This is the one. This is the one you were talking about. I think this is the one where the guys are on the scaffolding.
Yeah.
And this is, if you listen
Hemorrhoid cream, I think.
if you listen to close to this, you'll tell there's death in this commercial. All right. You gotta listen
It
close.
definitely has the visualization.
Yes, there's a death in there. Listen
I'll
up.
tell you, I hate it when we have to get high up on the scaffolding and my hemorrhoids start to flare up.
I know what you mean. Have you tried the creams?
I've tried it all. Nothing works. I just
Hey, guys, I'm Radio's Sean Bulent
Hey,
for
damn, guy.
Ritoroid.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Frank! Frank! Oh, no, Frank!
Well, Guy, there's one pain in the ass taken care of. Now time for some hemorrhoid relief.
I'm not worried about that anymore. My buddy just went over the side. How did you get up here anyway?
Hey, don't get all tensed up. Just take one of these small sticks and shove it right up your ass.
What?
For instant relief, trust Ritoroid.
What's going on up there? I just saw Frank's body
We
falling.
got some guy up here trying to sell hemorrhoid cream.
But that's just it. It's not a cream. It's new technology in hemorrhoid relief.
Who's that?
I'm Radio's Sean Bulent for Ritoroid.
You guys quit playing grab ass and get back to work.
But listen.
Get that Ritoroid guy down here. I got the piles so bad they're hanging down to the back of my knees. I can't even fart without wincing.
Hey, sounds like a new customer. I'm Radio's Sean Bulent for Ritoroid. Use only as directed.
There's another one where Sean Bulent just magically appears. Oh
Right,
my
on the
God.
scaffolding.
I've got it. There's still more of these. I have. Here's what I have. I have Sean Bulent push-up bra. Sean Bulent shitter and shower shine. And Sean
I don't remember that one either.
and Sean Bulent sparkle throat mints.
Yeah.
Any of those. And by the way, her saying, "I've got the piles so bad."
They're hanging down to my knee.
Yeah, that's a great line. Let's see.
I can't even fart without wincing. I think it's how she followed that up.
Let me see if let me play one. Which one should I play? Try push-up bra.
I don't remember those.
See, because I know that I want to say that one of these was written by Hobie. I think it was
Okay.
Hobie. So nothing against Hobie, but it won't be that good. I can't remember because it was one. The reason that we stopped doing them is when you got busy.
Hobie was better at like contacting celebrities and setting up interviews and things
Yeah,
like that.
he was just the way
He's more like an executive producer.
Yeah, he was good at putting together like more like we did some Star Trek bits. We did Justice League stuff like that, but they were conceptualized by me, and he had to basically take my idea, and you know how I would give you an idea, but the whole premise was I was giving you an idea with the premise of you're going to make it better, and he wasn't doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when there's a concept, here's a concept, but play with it, have fun with it, take it further. And that wasn't what he did. So Nothing against, and I like nothing against him. Let me just play try the push-up bra one.
Ah, another day at the beach. Now this is paradise.
It would be paradise if only I wasn't worried about my sagging breasts.
Well, it happens to the best of us. It comes with age.
I just wish there was something I could do.
Hi, ladies. I'm radio's
Whoa.
Sean Bellent for the all-new Booby Booster Cross Your Heart Bra.
Where the hell did you come from?
I'm radio's Sean Bellent. I couldn't help but notice those deflated love bags of yours, and boy, have I got just the thing.
Cindy, cell phone, police.
Got it.
Here, notice how this part of the breast,
Hey, get your hands off me!
Oh my God. Pervert.
but just check out how the Cross Your Heart.
You're going to be checking in ER if you touch my tit again.
The police are on their way.
See, the contours of breast are gently reshaped and enhanced. Ow! Bitch.
Jerk.
Hey, but I do like the way this reforms and shapes. Cindy, look at this.
Hey, nice. Can I get one of those?
I'm radio's Sean Bellent for Cross Your Heart.
See, that was a good read by Sean, but do you remember that one, Rocky?
No.
That might have been one that was written
Really?
by Hobie. Yeah, because you could tell there was a dip there between like Right Slab Funeral Home and that. I mean, seriously, there you could tell it's different. It's the same character, and it's still the same great read by Sean, but it just everything's different. There was no death in that one, which is nice. Here's another one called. Here's another one, Sean Bellent Sparkle Throat Mints. So I'm just saying, some of these were written by Rocky, and others were written by Hobie, and you could sort of tell. Although Sean's the same, Sean brilliant reads. I mean, brilliant reads of these. In all seriousness, as good as the scripts are, the reason that it was good is because Sean Bellent, his reads were that good. But I'm telling you, they were written by different people, and if you listen close, you guys can figure it out. This is Sparkle Throat Mints, which I don't even remember what they're about.
Did you get a whiff of John's breath this morning? Whew.
That bad again,
It's
huh?
awful. I wish he'd start using mouthwash or something.
Yeah, but how do you tell your boss he's got bad breath?
I know. I need this job too much for that.
Hi, gang. I'm radio's Sean Bellent.
Oh?
Sir, maintenance is downstairs.
I couldn't help overhearing your conversation, and I just happen to have some Sparkle Throat Mints, the cure for bad breath.
What? Did you just drop out of the ceiling?
Security.
Hey, what's all this?
Whoa, Jesus Christ! You must be the boss.
Why, yes, I am. Can I help you?
I think I can help you. Your employees were just commenting on your horrible breath, and I've got just the thing.
Hey, shh.
No, we didn't. We didn't say that.
What? Did you have a sweaty ass for breakfast this
I
morning?
beg your pardon.
Whoa, can you please do it in sign language? Your breath smells like the north end of a southbound dog.
Now, just a minute.
And I'm not talking fluffy with the perfumed anus
Who
either.
the hell do you think you
I'm
are?
radio's Sean Bellent for Sparkle Throat Mints. When I heard these two employees complaining about that awful stench from within your mouth, I came to the rescue.
What employees? These two?
No, it wasn't us.
These two right here. They were saying your breath smelled like a trash man eating a Limburger cheese fish sandwich in the middle of July.
That's it. You two are gone. Fired.
What?
Damn it.
Oh, man. Shoo-wee. Have a breath mint. In fact, have 6.
How will I support my kids? What will I do
I
now?
know. Looks like it's back to sucking at the train station for me.
In that case, you should take some of these with you. I'm radio Sean Bellent for Sparkle Throat Breath Mints.
You see what I mean? Rocky, when you wrote him and produced him, Sean's more energetic. It's like he's screaming, trying to get the message out. And there's great lines like I doubt.
Well, that's the whole point is for him to be obnoxious
Yes.
and then suddenly appear. And,
As this guy's realizing his life is over. I gotta go suck dicks down at the train station. Sean just doesn't care. Going, well, then take these with you. His only goal is to somehow sell the breath mints. I wish I had Shawnee on so he can tell us. Like when you guys recorded those. I'm just wondering what went into it because he would probably remember more than me. I know.
well, he would just come in and read it. I mean, he was the kind that, you would read it once and he knew exactly what the character was and how to yell and how to be obnoxious. Like, hey, I just appeared. Hey, what? Hey, well, try these.
When we
that kind of thing.
when we listen to Right
Where there was
Slab-
other people where you had to edit every 2 words.
Yeah. Well, like when you listen to the Right Slab, the brilliance of Right Slab Funeral Home is the timing especially when the women are getting upset, and he's just still, screaming out his lines and stuff. That's what makes it so funny. And
the more sacred a situation, the better.
Yes, when Sean Boleyn.
That's why the guy had to die at this construction thing, so it would be serious.
Yeah.
And he's still, hey!
The guy's dead, and Sean's still trying to sell hemorrhoid or suppositories.
Right.
I think it's just fantastic, and this one is great. Like I said, you get to the ones that Hobie wrote, and I don't want to keep harping on this, but and he didn't write a lot of them, but they don't have the same texture's not there.
Well, like I said, it was a different skill set. He was more of an executive producer that got celebrities on, and I certainly never did not do that. Was not the celebrity contact, so that was all Hobie.
So here's another one called Sean Balint, Shitter and Shower Shine. Once again, I don't know. I don't remember who wrote what, but like I said, there was different writers, and if you listen close, you can tell which one wrote it.
Honey, the house looks great.
Well, it should. I've been working all day.
Oh, sweetie, the whole place is spotless.
Obviously, you haven't seen the crapper.
Where did you come from? Who are you?
I'm Radio Sean Balint for Shitter and Shower Shine.
Shitter and Shower Shine?
Yes, it's the new product to make your latrine a clean scene.
Our bathroom is spotless.
Well, let's take a look.
Right this way.
Wait a minute.
Just as I thought. It's clean, but not Shitter and Shower Shine clean.
I just spent 2 hours cleaning this bathroom.
That's just it. Had you used the Shine, it would have taken just 15 minutes.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, what do you know?
Better believe it. Just watch how it eats up this pile of dirt.
You're making a mess. You can't just spread dirt all over our bathroom.
You're right. What was I thinking? This is a bathroom. If I want to show you how to clean it right, I've got to have the right kind of mess. I just happen to have this big bag of 6 different kinds of human shit with me. Let me just spread this.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing?
Gerald, stop him.
Looks like the damage is already done.
We all know that this isn't the only type of mess found in a John. Sometimes after a night of heavy partying, you gotta let go with the chunky yawn.
The chunky yawn?
I'm talking about puking, sir. Try to pay attention. To demonstrate how powerful Shitter and Shower Shine is, I brought Brenda the bulimic with me. Go ahead, Brenda. Do your thing.
Oh, no.
My shoes.
And what about those times when you gotta go, but your aim's a little off?
What are you talking about?
Oh, man, you wouldn't understand. It's a guy thing.
Let me guess. You brought a whole bag of urine with you, and you're going to throw it all over our bathroom
No,
floor.
but I did have a few beers before I came over. Let me demonstrate the power of the Shine on urine stains.
Oh, no, you don't.
Because you know how sometimes late at night you gotta go and you don't have time to switch on the light? You might get a little pee on the floor next to the commode.
Hey, freak, put that thing away.
You know, you might get some in the shower. Whoa, hey! You might get a little up here in the
This
sink.
guy is whizzing all over our bathroom, Gerald. Stop
You
him.
might get a little on your wife's hair. I'm all over the wall.
You better clean this up.
Oh, that's better. Woo! Well, yes, I can clean all this up with the new Shitter and Shower Shine. But first, you wouldn't happen to have a teenage son, would
No,
you?
why?
They make their own special kind of mess in the bathrooms of America.
Please, spare us.
Well, time to clean this horrible mess.
Good. Get to it.
Looks like this can of the Shine is fresh out. Well, I'll put you on my list, and next time I'm in the area, I'll be sure to have a full can of the new Shitter and Shower Shine. Till then, here's a little car air freshener for you. I'm Radio Sean Balint for the new Shitter and Shower Shine.
Oh my God, it's just great.
I don't think Hobie did that one.
No, I mean that's what I mean. You could tell from the energy. Hobie probably did the douche one. I'm just
Yeah, I think so.
If you listen to the difference in energy. Oh, by the way,
I forgot all about that one. John Balint urinating all over.
Yes,
He got it in my wife's hair.
and the wife saying, "Put that thing away." If you listen close, you can tell the difference in energy. And some are saying that Sean's in the chat room. Is Sean in the chat room? Yeah.
Sean is on Skype.
Oh, there. Hey, what's up, Shawnee?
Not a whole lot there, Ray.
Hey, how long have you been in here?
Hey, about 15 minutes.
Oh, so
I
you-
just wanted to say this segment is brought to you by Right Slab Funeral. If you say the words, "Look, Ma, watch this," and die in a viral video, moments later, you get 25% off your funeral.
Thank you. I was talking about that it was different producers that did those bits. It was Rocky started them, and then there was like Hobie did a couple of them, and I was talking about your reads are great, but the energy is different.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing we've talked about Rocky's creative genius for years, and that stands out. And the one thing you don't maybe think about often enough is he's a great director. I mean, I'm talking about you like you're not there, Rocky, but just, you know, and again, you're not on a film set. There's not a bunch of post-production. You got to get it done, get it right, and get it in the, you know, we had that production device at the time with a little spin wheel, and the turnaround time was amazing, and it's all because, you know, Rocky was a great director. It's like, no, you got to do this, you got to move, you know, you got to boost this, because I listened back to old shows when I first started, and I thought I was terrible. The only thing I brought to the table was a complete record of utter failure with women and other things. So my life was what was funny. I wasn't. So I think Rocky, the director,
did
is
he,
maybe an unsung hero part of the story.
when he gave you the script and you had to read it, did he read it for you and say, hey, you should sound something like this? I mean, I'm just asking because, you know, I'm not in
That
a lot
came
of
into play, but also he got his point across. He was you know, very assertive, not prickly or, you know, stepping on toes, but it's like, you know, kind of like a football coach. Hey man, come on, you got to do this, you got to do it right, and I know this is what we need. Up, you know, like I think what, raising your hand, even like we need a little more volume, a little more energy. So that's something that stands out to me, because we'd make some, you know, I mean, Rocky'd put some big bits together without a lot of turnaround. The turnaround time was pretty small.
I got to tell you, the Right Slab Funeral Home, the teen sex tapes, the intimate moments photography.
the teen sex tapes.
I'm saying that those are, I mean, those are near perfect. I mean, from a bit perspective, those are near perfect bits. And the last one, Shitter and Shower Shine, was great too. I mean, they are near perfect.
I don't remember. I forgot all about that. I remembered it as it was playing, but I forgot all about that one.
Just because they're filled with so many different things. Were you and the girls, were they with you, or Rocky, did you cut all those lines separate, or how did that get done?
Oh yeah, it's always, yeah, that room was big enough for two, so all those were separate.
So,
but you had to, because that, you know, you have all the lines and you overlay them and stuff. Otherwise, people are waiting and there's pauses and, oh, my turn, and stuff like that.
The best part of those commercials is Sean's read. And so I just wondered if he figured that out himself and could just.
Yeah, like I said, he was, he's a radio professional, so.
He knew.
Told him what he needed to do and he did it. It wasn't like some of the other people, like I said, where you have to take every 2 words and edit out all the pauses.
So it would be as simple as you saying, hey, I need big energy here, like you're doing blah, 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 and he would just get it? Or would you have, you know?
No, there wasn't a lot of coaching. I mean, it was like, you know, you need to be big and obnoxious. You're like a game show host that just appeared, and everybody's like, where did this guy come from?
And the other
thing, I remember saying things like, you know, move your arms. I don't know if I told Sean that, but like, yeah, use your body, use your face. You can hear the difference between, even if you're not seeing it, you can hear the difference between somebody smiling and somebody not. And
I'm telling you,
kind of thing.
When you listen to Right Slab Funeral Home, you visualize a guy just popping up in a funeral. and
whoa, where did you come from?
And then just being so offensive.
I'm Sean Billette.
It truly is. It's unbelievable. And I just.
Well, and I'm like I should do a podcast of comedy skits.
I'm telling you, Right Slab Funeral Home is very. Sean, do you remember cutting Right Slab Funeral? Do you remember any of that stuff? I'm asking you to go back to like 1997.
I remember the process. It's almost like they say in movies, like the what do they say when you the consolidated character, and they're all it's all kind of smashed into one memory, but I don't remember as much one specific. But I kind of have the memories all compressed into like one You know,
It's amazing that you were able to get the
one
dialogue.
positive character kind of.
The dialogue is so
Yeah.
quick, and yet you're saying that everybody was not in the same room. Is amazing. I want to listen to Right Slab again now. After hearing us say what we've said about how we cut these and stuff, listen to Right Slab again.
I just wish I would have hydrated more because, you know, you just hear the allergies. Now, there's a thing up in Springfield, ag chemicals or allergies where, you know, my voice gets a little labored. So I guess Right Slab's kind of where it went through. But you remember I'd get bronchitis twice a year. And
Oh yeah.
so, yeah, I felt like I kind of had more of a voice on Right Slab. But in the morning, it's like my voice wasn't awake until 8 a.m. It was pathetic.
Oh, and the other thing is, yeah, these would be cut at like 5:30, anywhere from to 7 o'clock. You know. Here's. Well,
I don't
listen.
know if I was ever there at 5:30.
Listen to Right.
Wake up, be funny.
Listen to Right Slab again, but always listen. But listen to how quick it is. The dialogue, how it sounds like it's boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's
so
why everybody's
sorry
lines
for
are
your
different. If
loss.
everybody was doing that live, like I said, you'd
It's
have
such a-
pauses and people unsure where to come in, and so it's easier just to do it all separated and just layer it.
If you, I mean, I just love how quick it is.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It's such a beautiful service.
You call this a beautiful service? Hi, I'm Radio Sean Billette for Right Slab Funeral Home.
What the hell?
Excuse me, can you keep your voice down, please?
I'm just so excited about the deals they have at Right Slab Funeral Home that I can't keep from shouting about it.
Well, maybe this isn't the right time.
When is the right time? Right now, I can show you all the things Right Slab has to offer.
Does this place have some security? I mean,
Look at the way this poor stiff's lips are sewn shut. It's all wrong. Here, let me just rip those out. At Right Slab, they really do it right. That man would have a smile on his dead, bloated, blue face if you would have chosen Right Slab.
that'll be just about enough, Al.
Oh, I see. We went the cheap route on the casket, too.
That casket cost $2,000.
Oh, Jennifer, don't.
$2,000? Boy, did you get screwed. We have a better casket at Right Slab for a mere $1,500.
I don't
Believe it, just $1,500. And this month only, get our murder-suicide special. 2 caskets for the price of 1. Must be legally proven murder-suicide, not valid in New Hampshire, void where prohibited. Some restrictions may apply.
What?
Don't let this happen to you. Call Right Slab right now. I'm Radio's Sean Billette for Right Slab Funeral Homes.
I just love that because it's so.
Just can't keep from shouting about it.
It's so offensive to think about this product pitch man showing up at a funeral and doing it, and you, while you listen to it, you just picture whatever your mind has thought a funeral looks like. You picture that, and then you just picture this, and everybody, and we're Sean Billette on the show. We always described him. I mean, everybody called him overweight and whatever. So you just, even if you've never seen Sean, you have a picture in your head about what he looks like.
Well,
Could you believe the effort? I mean, and what a method actor when I was asked to play an overweight air personality. And I mean, I filled that role to the T. I mean, it was something I took a lot of pride in.
I just love
because I started the show as a 205-pound workout freak.
That is not true.
I was so dedicated.
I love Right Slab because it's near perfect. It is it's one of my favorite bits of all time, and it's fantastic. Oh my God! So I was glad we got to play some of these and let you guys listen to them. See, this is what we want to do on the Friday show. What we want to do on the Friday show is play some old bits and then basically discuss what went into them. And what we want is, we want Rocky to discuss them, and then I want, Nick and I to basically ask questions. And then having Sean Billette on, it's great because Sean can actually describe what it was like to be the guy cutting the commercials. There's a whole thing about Sean is the superhero. What was the name? Is it Lazy Man?
Tubbo the Defender of Justice.
Tubbo the Defender of Justice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That must have been after I was there.
Yeah, no, it was while you were there. It was best of 4. It was
okay.
It was he was on the back of the disc. There was a picture of Tubbo the Defender of Justice.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was Belintrogen, which to this day I will still call Sean Belintrogen. which was the pill you could take, which would make you lazy. And I don't remember the exact thing that made us start calling you lazy on the air, Sean, but that was, I mean, what a gift.
I think it was you would ask them a obscure question about the news he was reading, and he wouldn't have an answer or something, and you would say he was lazy.
That does sound like it.
Yeah. Well, there was, it almost got to be like, I'll tell you what, I worked so much, and then I just wish I'd have had a laptop in the studio and some of the tools they have now, because it was, I mean, man, some of that stuff was horrible. Like I printed all those news stories and then I kind of read them cold, some 17-page story and try to make it into a news story. Oh, it was a train wreck.
And this was back in the day when at the radio station at the Midwest Family Radio Station, in the old building, the studios, there was quite a distance. Nowadays, the WQLZ studio is right across the hall from the WMAY studio, so it wouldn't be that bad now. But back then, you had to leave one studio and you had to walk half the building to get over to the WMAY studio. And that was back in, when did they switch? But like 2003, 2002? I mean, so the first like 5 years.
I want to say, yeah, probably 02.
Yeah, the first 5 years, it's separated by a longer distance, and you were doing both. And, there was more walking. And there was no laptops. There was no such thing as a laptop in 98. I mean, it just didn't exist.
They got rid of that recording device that he was talking about with the scrub wheel and all that. They ditched that without even asking. They're like, oh yeah, we don't need that.
That thing.
And then when they went to the new studios, everything went to like computer monitor audio editing. So it was all like SAW, and it's like.
That was when Manfroy left. The new engineer came in, and he just made that unilateral decision on his own. And a lot of people were using, especially us, we were using that because it was quicker.
I don't think it was a lot of people. I think it was us, and I think that's why,
that might have been why.
If other stations had been using it, that it would probably literally still be in the building. But yeah, we went from all that to not even having an on-air light. All the audio was gone through one slide on the board.
It's just like when they say things like, "Oh no, we
didn't know when the phone was ringing."
Can I just point this out? When they say, "Oh, we still support Ray Lytle and wish him well," can I point out that they have owned morningdisaster.com. They stole it. I bought it. They stole it from me when I left in 2005, and they've never offered it back. In fact, they pay for it every year and just let it do nothing. Even though they have no use. I just want to, when they say how much they support me, I'm not firing any kind of a warning shots, but I just want to say, when they say they support me, I want to point out that they, as in the company, has owned morningdisaster.com. Because you notice the website is morningdisaster.net. They have owned morningdisaster.com. In fact, they have redirected it to various other stations like WNNS and,
Because if I'm looking at morningdisaster.com and it goes to WNNS, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, that's cool too. Same thing.
They have owned it all these years.
Ray Lytle, Celine Dion, whatever.
And they have never offered to sell it. They've never offered to sell it back to me. So when they say they support me, I just want to point that out. There's one example as to why, right now, I think right now it directs to nothing. But they have owned that domain since 2000. I mean, I bought it in 96 or 7, and there was.
I remember that.
They went to me and they said,
everybody was buying all these domain names that,
They went to me and they said, hey, let's, it was somehow in my contract, and I was getting ready to sign. They said, oh, and by the way, your morningdisaster.com is about to come up. It was before GoDaddy. And I was like, oh, I got it through FGINet or whatever. And then they said, we'll just pay it. And I said, no, that's all right. I'll pay it. They said, no, we'll get it for you. they said, we'll give it back whenever you need it. That's what they told me. And this is like, I want to say around 2002, they did that, and somehow they took it from me by me saying, okay, we'll just throw it in. And they did it. And then after I left in 2005, and I resigned in 2005, and I quit, they wouldn't get, and I said, hey, can I have morningdisaster.com back? They said no. They kept it. And then they just pay the bill every year.
Were they maybe thinking of having a, Joe Smith's Morning Disaster?
I don't know, but they literally they stole the .com from me, and they've never given it back. And I've asked, and they have never given it back. There was one guy, the last guy that was the last guy that was the general manager, Harvey Wells. I thought he was gonna give it back, and but I guess he asked, and when he asked, he was told no. He said, hey, is there anything I could do for you other than, because we were talking money, and I said, well, I'll take this much. And he said, I can't do that. And he said, is there anything else I can do for you? I said, yeah, you can give me back morningdisaster.com. And he goes, that shouldn't be a problem. We should be able to do that. And he said, I'll get back to you. And never got back to me, which leads me to believe that they told him, no, we'll hang on to that. So I'm just saying, whenever they say that they still support me and stuff, I want to point that fact out.
Why would they do that? I mean, other than just spite or something. I mean, it's not like they're going to use it, and they haven't been using
they
it.
Don't. Right. It's not directed. In fact,
audio.
It's not even directed to a web page they have anymore. It's just not directed to it. It's literally.
The only thing I can think of was at one point there was probably some plan on the table to, like I said, make it somebody else's Morning Disaster, and then they could just keep, confuse people. They still think it's this show and that type of thing.
I don't know, but I mean, I have been waiting for them to. I've been waiting for them to let it go to where I can buy it back.
That was always kind of the sentiment when I was just about out. When I was on the river, and just when I left the first time, that was the sentiment. It was like going around like, we need to get somebody that can replace Ray eventually.
Yeah.
We need to get somebody in here that when Ray starts negotiating, we can go, well, we've got this person that can replace you. So I'm thinking that's probably what the morningdisaster.com keeping that was all about.
That poor Mo guy, they brought him
I don't know about poor.
Well, they brought him in the year my contract ran out. Remember?
That was what that was all about.
They brought him.
That was one of the reasons I left.
Yeah.
The first time.
It's crazy, I know, but that they brought him in to right before my contract ended, and then literally, he was on the station, and then I ended up re-signing my contract. All right, I re-signed it. It took us forever. It was a long negotiation, but it was finally taken care of. And I still remember it. Glenn Gardner was the general manager at the time, and Glenn. It wasn't that rough it wasn't that rough of a negotiation, but it was a long negotiation. There's a lot of things we had to work out. And then Glenn and I went to Darcy's Pub when it was in the town. Is it Town and Country, Sean? When it was there?
I still remember it was Darcy's Pub.
No, I remember because it was Darcy, the original Darcy's Pub.
Right, Flat Horseshoes.
And we went there and we finally did it, and I signed it. And then we had a guy named Greg Manfroy who was the engineer, and then Greg had left, and we got a new engineer. That's who would have been the engineer who made the decision to swipe morningdisaster.com from me. So it would have been sometime after 2002. But you had the most.
I find that hard to believe.
The most situation. I signed my contract that morning, or after that late morning, like 11:30 or whatever. And then at 1:00 that afternoon, they fired Mo. They say that the two had nothing to do with each other. But
that's what that was all about. That was pretty much, and I'm like, I'm not going to be part of this.
But by the way, by the way, that guy cost them a ton of money. I mean, a lot of shit went bad.
Good. Bad decisions like that somebody needs to pay.
And the whole,
and maybe more, then maybe they'll learn and then they won't do something like that.
And the whole reason they brought him in was basically just to lower my ask. And by the way, I wouldn't lower anything. They were trying to get me for cheaper, and I said, no, I'll just go. By
the time he had been on a while, it was like, okay, well, we need whatever you want, Ray.
If they, I don't know if they thought it was going to make me sign early or not, but I waited till the contract was like, my contract was out. But there's where they fucked up. They brought him in to get me to believe that this guy was going to be my replacement, and to protect themselves. Like, if I did quit and leave, he was the automatic guy to go in.
Yep.
So that would have made sense. But what happened was, this is where they fucked up. They let my contract expire. And when my contract expired and they didn't automatically put him in, I realized, oh, they've made their choice. And then I went in and I said, I want exactly the same amount that I asked for 6 months ago. And they eventually gave me the amount that I asked for. And then they fired the kid. And I still feel bad about it. I mean, he was, and Rocky, you don't remember this, but Sean, you remember it. He eventually he called the show one day. Sean, you remember that? He called.
I remember that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolute lunacy. Yeah.
He called the show after a while, and I answered it, and I put him on the air, and he was losing it. And I felt really bad for him then, because, I mean, he literally lost it. He was crying and screaming like
that was like awesome. I love that.
He was screaming like
that over and over in the car.
Because
Schadenfreude, I think the Germans call it.
I don't know. In his mind, we were having some big battle that I didn't give a shit about. And I mean,
he came on the air. I left. He came because, well, it all started when the one guy who was he was not a program director, but he was sort of higher up, pretty much would not stop. I was the program director.
Right.
And he would not stop harassing me to hire this guy. I mean, it was like every day. It was another. So you're thinking about? No, the guy called. I talked. He wanted me to call him, so I called him. His answering machine was one big long like gay joke, and I'm just like, I'm not. We're looking for talent here, not like shock jock from 1985. And so that's all he was. He just said shocking stuff.
Yeah,
there was no like
he said
real person behind it or anything.
I want to say that his show he dropped the N-word every day of his show.
First break was
what's up my end. That tell me what that would. I mean, that was on WQLZ. And
there was it was just offensive, shocking, but not necessarily funny stuff. It was just like, I'm going to say a dirty word, or I'm going to say a provocative word, or whatever. And he went on the air and talked about me. That's the thing. When I wasn't even employed there anymore, he didn't even know me.
It made no sense.
If people were calling up asking, "Where's Rocky? Where's Rocky?" He got tired of it, and he started going off on me on the air. He didn't even know me, so. All's fair. I got no sympathy. I've got no nothing. He attacked me for no reason.
There was
like I said, I wasn't even working there.
And then he would say stuff.
Didn't even know the guy.
He would say, Ray Lytle is so jealous of me. And I had no idea. I literally had
Well, at least he was competing with you for the morning slot. I mean, I wasn't even working there. Yeah. And he just decided to talk about me on the air. I have no defense because I don't have a microphone, so.
I don't know. I didn't know what his problem was. I seriously had no clue what the guy's problem was. I think
there were several, and I don't think it had to do with you, me, radio, or anything. I think there were.
Well, I know he was divorced when he was there or something, but.
Well, a lot of people get divorced.
But yeah, I don't know. But he, the day I signed they said it had nothing to do with it, but when I signed my contract, and they asked me during the negotiations if I had a problem with him, and I was like, no, not real. No, I said, I don't listen to him because that's right when I nap. In all seriousness, I didn't listen. I had an infant and I napped every day right around that time. And I'm like, no, I never listened to him. And then I nap when my wife watches my daughter, and then when I wake up, I'm gotta catch up on everything. So I never listened.
Yeah, I never. Everything I heard, I would hear secondhand, but it was from multiple people, and I trusted all of them. They had no reason.
I heard
it was like 4 or 5 people going, "This guy's like going off on you. On what's the deal?" I'm like,
here's what I did. The show, I had a meeting, and then I would go to I would do something, and then his show started like 2:00, and so I would have it on, and so I'd always hear there would be some type of a boom, 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 boom. What's up, my ends? And I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta take a nap. I'm turning this off. And I heard enough of his show to catch the N-word, and I was like, this just isn't for me. And
it was right after the September 11th thing too, and there was a lot with that, where it was like not very much longer, and he's talking about going to New York and looking through the ashes for people's wallets and stuff like that, and
yeah, it was
whatever.
crazy.
And he would do all this stuff, and then he would do the disclaimer at the end. But I want to salute the firefighters. They're heroes. Do the populist thing to make up for what you just said. He was all this just like, dude, Radio 101. Go away.
He was all about killing Muslims and America, and he was doing that.
Oh, I didn't even know that. My
doing
favorite thing was I had heard all this stuff about him, right? He's this badass. He's this party guy. He gets down and dirty, says the N-word, says, son of a bitch on the air. Woo! And then I don't know him. So I see a picture of him on the QLZ website. And this dude, he's got like this hair with like highlight tips in it. And his picture, I swear to God, is this. And I'm like, come on, seriously, though, where's the Mo guy?
He wasn't.
That's him. I'm like, no, come on, really though. No, that's him.
It seemed
like
what's this
off
picture
the
for?
air. That's how he always looks.
It seemed like off the air he was.
No, it's becoming clearer.
He wasn't. Sean, tell me if I'm wrong when I say this. I know Sean knew him. I think he wore mascara. Am I wrong when I say that, Sean?
Absolutely.
He looked like he wore mascara.
Maybe close up. Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a joke. I thought, well, they take this picture that he made for some stunt or something, and they're making it.
He was.
Apparently, that's the way he always looked.
However, to my
mascara,
face,
highlights, tips, and
to my face, he was always a super nice guy. I thought he was a nice guy. And then,
wow,
which is, you know what I mean? Like to my face, he never.
No.
Yeah, and I remember there was one time there's a whole thing with Marvin, and Marvin came and told me stuff, and I went, what? And he goes, no, Ray, I telling you. And I thought Marvin was just being crazy. As it turned out, Marvin was right. And so I signed my contract, and literally the day I signed it, they fired him the same day.
It was the day that I started too. I came back and was going to program The River, if you remember that.
That's right. Yeah, you came back.
And they fired him on my first day, and I got to see it.
Well, I remember poor Diggs, or Danny Bott, was an intern, and if I'm not
mistaken, like stuck in the middle, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they went to him. They went to Diggs, and they said, hey, we need you to do afternoons. And he had never, I think he had worked at DBR or something. And then all over, next thing you know, he was doing afternoons. And then they fired Mo, and it was crazy.
They had me doing afternoons right after, and they may have had him like the next week or something, but like when he immediately was fired, they immediately had me go back to QLZ for like 2 weeks and do afternoons.
Crazy.
I remember that because they were like, and don't say anything on the air about him, and so my whole thing was, hey, I'm Rocky, remember me? I was blah, 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 and phones were lit up. And occasionally somebody would ask where he was, and they didn't say don't say anything on the phone. So I'm saying all kinds of
all
stuff.
I know is that he was like, that mother effer Ray
Pro
Lionel.
quo comes back. What goes around comes around, dude.
Well,
you talk about me on the air when I'm not even there, can't even defend myself. Guess what? Now I've got the mic. And
Here's
you're
where
gone,
they
so.
hung me out to dry. All right. And I did not appreciate it because the timing, you know, because they made the announcement that I had re-signed my contract literally right after they had said, we fired Mo. They said, Ray Lytle has re-signed his contract. He's chosen to remain at Midwest Family for 3 more years. By the way, we fired Mo. So that it did look like the reason
it was,
you know, the reason Ray stayed
Yeah.
is because they fired Mo, which, by the way, was untrue. If anything, they cost themselves more money by not replacing me with Mo when my contract ran out.
Well, I mean, I was hearing all kinds of different things when that was going on. Because like I said, I wasn't there. I took that opportunity to go back to college, go to UIS and learn some, you know, computer stuff and internet things that, you know, all that was, I didn't have that when I went to college. It was totally different. So I did a refresher on that, took a break, and he was on then. And the stuff that I would hear going on was just like somebody, you know, going after advertisers. Somebody took it upon themselves to like not call in and complain about him, but just go right after go to the advertisers and be like, "This is what you're advertising."
On one of these Friday shows, I'll find and play the Mo phone call, and it was me and Mikey, it was me and Sean, Mikey, Jimmy.
I mean, people came into the studio for that. It's
yes.
like, I mean, I was there and I wasn't even on the show at that point.
It was crazy. And I can't remember who was producing the show then. They pick it up in the producer studio, and then they're waving. They're frantically waving their arm, and they're saying line 4, and they're pointing. And I was like, "Hello," and then it's like, "Yeah, you just Mo, son of a bitch," and I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" And he was on something, and out of his mind. And then my first.
Well, I hope that the people that were involved in all that constant hounding me to hire that guy, I hope they learned a lesson.
All I know is.
Well, one of them's retired now, but the other one, I don't know what he's doing. But
I know
probably
that
somewhere with Velcro shoes on.
I know that on that particular day, and I guess he fizzled in the radio industry. He, you know, eventually was fired, and he got in some more trouble as years went by, but. I know on that particular day when he called, he was out of his mind. He was out of his mind. And my first thought was, let's put that on the air. And then
because
I started feeling bad.
If something happens to you, you've got that recording.
Well, as the
It'd
show
be irresponsible if you didn't.
As the show went on, I started feeling bad for him because he really, really embarrasses himself during the phone call.
So we'll have that for you on Monday.
So I promise.
I feel so bad. Coming up in 20 minutes, it's a replay.
We'll play that entire phone call coming up on one of these Friday shows. No, it's insane. I mean, he loses it, and then he starts complaining because the job he got a job right afterwards, and then he was fired from that job, and that might have been why he called, because he was just fired again or so, and then he was claiming that I was somehow responsible for him being fired from that job.
I would have been like, absolutely. And you know what? I'm responsible. Just to let you know, your next job when you're fired from that was me too.
It was crazy. Sean, are you still on?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that what it was? He was blaming me for the job that he is just fired from, like. Which was in I forgot which.
It was something crazy. I just remember it sounded like Monsters Under the Bed. That opening. It was like.
Yeah, he was.
He was like hyperventilating the whole time.
Yeah, he was hyperventilating, and it was really. And we were laughing, and the more I would laugh, the more I would laugh, the more rattled he'd get, and he was. And then I think Jim the photographer said something. And he got really, I mean, he just
can't believe that.
he got really angry. And then,
because guess what? If they would have fired you and brought him in, that means Jim's gone too.
Yeah, that's true.
So Jim knew what was up.
Well, and I think that's why he talked to Marvin, and Marvin told us, which, you know, that's when I When I figured out the guy was trying to take my job was when Marvin told me. Marvin came to me and said, "Hey, I got something to tell you in secrecy." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Mo offered me a job to be his." What? He goes, "Yeah, he says he's going to take your job and blah, blah, blah." And that's how I found out it was from Marvin. But I was like, well, maybe the plan is he's going to replace me if I leave.
Yeah, that was totally the plan. I mean, they were very careful about how they said it in front of me. And I only was in one or two meetings where it was brought up where you weren't there. And they were very careful because they knew that you and I were close.
Yeah.
But I was the program director, so we're kind of supposed to be enemies or whatever, because that's radio.
Yeah.
The program director and the morning show host can't get along. But we did. Yeah, they were careful, but that was why he was so adamant that I hire this guy. And I'm like, dude, this guy's got no talent. He just says shocking things and they don't go together. They don't mean anything. It's just, and you could get an 8-year-old to do that.
He's an
oh no, this guy's blah 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 blah. I'm like,
it's 2000.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to college. Then you guys take the radio station,
2001.
have
We
fun.
just had there was just a gigantic mess for our country, and this guy's an N-word using homophobe. I'm not sure it's the best time to have this guy on the air, and no one said that. But
well, that was the thing. Beyond the N-words and whatever, he would try to be shocking with the September 11th stuff. From what I hear, I was told that he was talking about the stuff about going through people's wallets and I don't know, just stupid. Oh my God, let's get the phones ringing. I'm so outrageous. Can you believe I just said that?
I do know that there was a time where he brought in some lesbians to have sex in the studio while he was on the air. And it turned out one of them was like 16 or something. So I do know there was an instance where that was going on. And then there was another instance.
What?
There was another, yeah, he brought in.
Yeah, all of our people that had sex when we were in there were over 18.
Yeah,
I'll say
exactly.
that. All how many people do we have having sex in the studio? About 17.
He brought in women or girls to have
an odd number.
sex while he was on the air, and one of them was 16. So I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
And then there was a time he was saying there had just been a soft drink company that had purchased like $60,000 of an annual. I mean, they put all their money to go on QLZ, but it was because they were fans of the Morning Disaster. And I don't know if that's what triggered him or what, but he went on the air and said, I was trying to drink, and he talked like he was Alex Jones. I was trying to drink some,
oh my God,
some whatever.
Hey, it's my full power. Get ready for the apocalypse, and you're right now in your cellar, $29.99.
And that's how he talked. And he goes, I was trying to drink some.
Infowars.com.
I was trying to drink some blah blah blah, but it tasted just like piss. It was like someone pissed in a cup, and I drank it, and it turned out it was blah blah blah, and it was the same soft drink that had just spent all the money.
Blah blah blah. That's 3 syllables.
And it was crazy.
Just like the drink.
It was crazy. They pulled all their, and I don't blame them. They pulled all their advertising.
No, they were. I don't think they were the only ones either.
No,
I mean,
but
I
they were the.
I think the thing that just
first
about
big
ready to break the camel's back was a major advertiser.
Yeah, I know.
A major advertiser.
Oh,
was
and I
like,
know that one
You get him
because
off, or we're gone.
because that guy,
Major.
the guy who ran that
Some people
company,
would even say this advertiser kind of owned the radio.
yes,
station.
that advertiser personally called me one afternoon while I was taking
Sure,
a
you were
nap.
friends.
While I was
You were
taking
friends
a
with
nap.
the main guy.
Yeah. I'm taking a nap. My wife comes in and goes, honey, I got to wake you up. And I was like, what? She goes, it's so-and-so on the phone. I'm like, what? She goes, it's this guy is on the phone. And,
Almost said it.
yeah. And I go, okay. And I go, hey, what's up? And he starts saying, this fucking guy in the afternoon just said blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, this guy just, and I said, oh man, I said, I don't know him. Whatever. And he goes, and he was really angry. And he goes, I need you to make sure that I get a call back from Tom Kushak. And I think, well, the guy in charge of Glenn, he goes, he goes, well, he goes, but I want to talk to Kushak. I mean, he was really upset. And I can't remember what it was, but that was the guy that ran that company was so upset. He goes, I'll pull every cent of my fucking advertising if this isn't taken care of. I was like, okay.
But that leaves us with 34 cents in advertising.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't do that.
he was a huge Disaster fan too, and he spent a lot of money on the radio station.
Like I said, you guys had a really good professional relationship.
He was a great.
When
He
I
was a
tell
great
people
guy.
about the difference between major market radio and working in Springfield, one of the things I miss was being in a room with you, the general manager. You've got this guy, major advertisers, sitting right there live in front of you, and everybody's hashing out events and promotions and stuff. And then the next thing you know, you're there with 800 people at the, whatever, the event.
But I think
love that.
And
we had such a great relationship with them.
That probably had more to do with the guy getting fired than his claim is that I re-signed my contract. And I said, here's the claim. That I would have let him believe that, though. I would have let him believe that I was negotiating with the radio station, and that I said, if you don't fire Mo, I'm gonna leave. And I never said that. There was at one point, Glenn Gardner asked me. He said, he goes, just between us, and this is at Darcy's, the day that I re-signed the contract. He goes, would your life be better if that guy no longer worked at the radio station? He asked me that. And I said, he was giving Jimmy a hard time. And I said, well, yeah, my life would be better, but I'm not saying you need to fire him. So there was something like that. And I can't remember the exact way it was phrased, but I did. Sean, I probably told you after this happened what the exact wording was, but it wasn't me saying I won't sign if I won't sign.
You didn't make him a stumbling block.
Yeah, I did. I never said that. I never said that if you don't fire Mo, I won't sign a contract. That was never the case. I might have told Glenn Gardner, I said, Glenn asked me a question like, would your life be better if he was no longer there? And I think I said, yeah, you kidding? The guy sucks. It's look at the money he's costing the radio station or something like that. Or I said, what he said to Jimmy was because he told Jimmy, he said, when I'm doing the show, you're out of here. Or it was something like that. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, he was not going to do the show. Jimmy knew that if I left, I would take him.
Oh, yeah.
And if I stay, of course, he's going to have a job. He just knew that.
That's what I was saying earlier. Jim knew that if he got the morning, then Jim was out.
Yeah. So but it was because the guy said something. And I certainly didn't like the way he treated Jimmy. But I think I told Glenn that, yeah, my life would be easier if he was gone. But I certainly didn't mean to fire him. And literally, we got back from me signing the contract, and Glenn and I were celebrating, and then I left the building, and literally, I left and started driving home. While I was driving home, they fired him. So the timing did look very conspicuous.
I mean, the timing it was the same thing for me. They hired me for the river and then fired him that day. And I still remember there was somebody on the river at that time that was still a little higher than I was. And I remember I didn't know that person that well. And I remember going, yeah, I don't want to seem unprofessional, but this is pretty rare. Can I go out and laugh and point at him while he's driving out of the park? And no.
All I know is that
I really wanted to.
I
mean, again, I didn't know this guy. He did not know me. I didn't want to hire him, so maybe that was the grudge. But he got on the air after I was no longer on the radio station and just started going off on me. So all gloves are off.
I mean,
I don't feel bad at all.
I'm looking in the chat room. Gus Martin was just in the chat. Said, "What's up, guys? I loved working with you all. Hope all's well." Thanks, Gus. And I see Pat Patterson says, it sounds like they wanted him as a safety net in case Ray didn't sign. That was obvious.
It's absolutely.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to point out that there were, the year before my contract ran out, there were several offers that I was given to go places and do, a version of the Morning Disaster. However, my wife was pregnant, and this is right when Bella was being born. So I couldn't leave because certainly didn't want to switch jobs during a pregnancy. There was absolutely no pre-existing condition coverage back then. I would have had to pay out of pocket for a childbirth, which would have been outrageous. So there's no way it was going to happen. But there was one place in the Carolinas where the guy flat out offered me whatever you want, and I said I can't do it and I explained why, and he even understood. And then there was another offer from a station in Des Moines. There was, and I guess I can say, there was the company that owns YMG also owned a station in Des Moines, and I had talked to them. Well, their competitors had heard I had talked to them. So their competitors had made me an offer. And so there was all this talk about places that I could have gone. And then there was another station that had offered me a chance to go work there. And none of them I was interested in, because at the time I was syndicated. My wife was pregnant and about to give birth. And then she gives birth, and I could have left right after Bella was born. But I was like, boy, I don't want to move with literally a newborn. And then 9/11 happened while my wife was still pregnant. So with 9/11 and all that stuff, I was like, nah, screw it. And then 2002 comes around, and there were radio stations not wanting to make a change because 9/11 had just happened. So I was like, I'm going to sign, or I'll get into an agreement with them to do 30 days post contract being up. I'll do a 30-day extension so that we can work all this stuff out, because it just, the mood was not right. Nobody was wanting to hire and give up any money. And to be honest, kind
of like right now.
Yeah. I mean, I like Springfield, and I like the people I worked with, and I love the Morning Disaster. I love doing the show. So I got to be honest. And I was making a shitload of money. So I was in nowhere. And by the way, in Springfield, it's cheaper to live than it is to live in some of these other cities where I was offered. And at the time, I was making six figures, and I was like, I'm not going to fucking leave. It's insane. And because you got to remember, the Itchy Pickles every time the Itchy Pickles played, made a ton of money. There was a lot of stuff going in. We had best of CDs that were selling out. I'd make money on those. So there were plenty of reasons to stay at the time. And, so I knew eventually I'd resign. And even though they brought that guy in, I wasn't stupid. I mean, I saw that he was probably going to be a safety net. But I was just like, they're not going to need him because I'm going to stay. And as hard as he tried to make, my life, I was like, I know the guy is not going to replace me. That's just not going to happen. And then when it exactly played out the way that in my mind it would play out, is that I resigned, the guy was fired, and he eventually cracked up. He called the show, and it was, and I never replayed it because it was a great moment for us. But
I never burnt anything onto a CD before just so I could have it in my car for the show.
It was highly.
So I went around listening to parody songs over and over, but
it was highly embarrassing for him. I think, by the way,
Schadenfreude.
If I remember the phone call, you want to know who had the best line during that phone call? Was RTQ, RTQ was he never said a lot.
He just sits there and waits for that perfect line.
There was a time that Mo starts telling, like Sean asked a question, and Mo starts going, I'm going to sue this and I'm going to sue that. And he goes, I'm going to sue. He's talking about, well, they fired me, I'm going to sue them or whatever. And there was a line, and I don't remember all of it, but RTQ goes, well, you must be on the bad end. He goes, you must be on the bad end of that lawsuit. And I can't remember what he says.
And I will hear it next Friday. That's for sure.
Yeah, he
'Cause
says
if you don't have it, I do.
he says something about this lawsuit he's got, and RTQ's like, well, you must be on the bad end of that lawsuit. And it's the single best line during that whole phone call, and it comes out of RTQ's mouth, which is funny. When he's talking about there's a lawsuit. I can't talk about it because there's a lawsuit. And Ronnie goes, well, if you're not allowed to talk about it, then you must be on the bad end of that lawsuit, or whatever it is. And it's hysterical. But you guys will hear. Maybe that'll be our first subscription show, Rocky, is us playing the phone call and talking about it.
I've always said the controversial statement, it's much more entertaining when bad things happen to bad people than when good things happen to good people.
Well, this was definitely a bad thing happening to a bad person, but he was blaming me. And I hate this.
Well, it's certainly not his fault. You know, it's got to be somebody else's fault. He's perfect. He's the wizard of comedy.
But I just want to go on record as saying 100% it was not my fault that the guy was fired.
I lost a lot of respect for a couple of people too with that hire. One person in particular I didn't have very much respect for anyway, and like a morsel, but the morsel, I mean, the way he was championed, and we just gotta get this guy. Oh wow, you just don't know. And then he turns out to be just some person that, you know, fuck. hey, fuck everybody. Fuck. Here's Metallica. You know, that
I just, I tell you, I think that there has been, I got to be honest with you, the guy he wasn't in Springfield for that long, but there are still people to this day that remember him. They might remember him for all the wrong, they might remember him for all the wrong reasons.
You would remember somebody who does that, but once you've got that, I said the N-word on the air, that trick out of the bag, what do you follow that up with? And he didn't. That was all it was. I'm going to say shocking words.
There are a lot of people around now who refuse to wear masks and still say that Mo was a talented guy. I'm just saying that there's a certain type that
he must have been talented at getting a job, maybe.
There's a lot of people, not a lot, but I mean, there are some people that still remember him and still think he was a great talent. You know,
what kind of person gets a job somewhere, doesn't know the person that they're replacing? The person that they were replacing pretty much left so they could go to college and learn more about computers. So it wasn't like a whatever. What kind of person goes on the air and just starts bashing this previous DJ that they don't even know or have any animosities or anything? I mean, that was.
Well,
I mean, I don't feel bad at all. There was no reason for him to do that, and he did it. And it's like, you don't even know me, dude.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. And I know he went on to several markets and was fired from all of them.
To go on the website, because again, I don't know this guy. Oh, you got to see him. Yeah. Go on the website, and he's with the highlight tips and the mascara, and it's like.
It was nuts.
Okay, man.
The last job he had.
You need to wait until about 11 o'clock. You need to go to Douglas Park. You need to get real. You'll find out all that anger and all the bad bats flying around your head. They'll just fly away.
All I know was the guy's last radio job. Okay. He was fired for something he said. And then he sued. He ended up suing the station, and he claimed he had a airtight lawsuit, and he was going to end up suing them for millions of dollars or whatever, and he lost the lawsuit. And that's the last I've heard of him. I don't know what he's doing now.
We really shouldn't even be dedicating any more time.
It was
the thing next Friday and move on.
Well, I saw it because somebody sent it to me. I think it was Big D or somebody. There was somebody that really that got along with him. I think it was Big D sent me an article about his lawsuit, him losing it. And that's the last I've heard of him. So it was nuts. But starting next Friday, the first subscription show will be the playing of the Mo phone call.
Oh, let's make that the second one, because you don't want to make that the first one, because then you tarnish the first Patreon thing. And he'll forever be associated.
So we'll do that. We'll wait for like the second
Do it
one.
some nonchalant number like episode 7 or something.
Oh, that's crazy. So I promise we will talk about Mo and what happened. But I can tell you, Mo was not fired because I signed the contract. I'm telling you. I do agree with what Pat said, which is obviously the reason he was brought in was because they thought I was going to leave. And that's why you can tell that. But I'm telling you, I wasn't going to leave. There was no reason.
And this guy that you always used to, kind of refer to as your friend and he was the one that was behind it more than anyone else.
I did know that. It was our consultant who was really that's who was really behind. I know that, but I've always known that. But I don't blame them because I was a big part of QLZ.
It's a business.
Yeah, and
but if you're going to replace somebody like Ray Lytle, you don't replace them with Scrappy Doo.
Well,
with profanity.
You need to replace them with someone who's either you're going to play music for a long time and take some losses and then develop your own thing, or bring in some big boisterous guy who's even more shocking and more worse. Which, by the way, is the total wrong decision. But that's what they decided.
I think that's what they thought they were doing.
Yeah.
And then you build him up in the afternoon and then you move him to the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, more outrageous. He's Ray Lytle, extreme. All that.
But you do have to bring someone that had the same, because one thing about me, Rocky, you should. One thing about me is as crazy as it all sounded, or as I could sound at times on the air, but there is. I do have a business sense of what is appropriate and what isn't, and there's lines that I won't cross. Even
you gotta be funny.
Yes, today.
You gotta be funny. Anybody can say words. You gotta be funny. You gotta be engaging. You gotta be entertaining.
And
not just, hey, everybody, look at me. Hey, I'm gonna do this now. Everybody, pay attention. Hey, over here, me. Hey.
I would never spout the N-word just to say the N-word. Even now on the internet, there are things that I would not say because it might hurt somebody, or there's a line that I won't cross, and I certainly wouldn't cross it then, and I still won't cross it. That's just how I am. But this guy had no line. There was no line.
He's like a child.
Yeah.
He's like a child that got together. You know how when you're a kid and you're like 7 or 8 and you're finally alone with your other 7 or 8 year old friends. So, there's no parents around. So then every third word is profanity. And, it's just a bunch of kids. It turns into just a bunch of cussing. That's what he reminded me.
I knew a
of.
kid.
Like a 7-year-old that was away from their parents for the first time.
I was 8,
and I'm going to show you all the dirty words I know.
When I was 8 years old or 11 years old or whatever, there was one kid I knew who every day we would walk to school, and when we would get to the graveyard, he would always light up a smoke. He was like 11. He would light up a smoke because that's when nobody was around.
Right.
And he would always talk about it'd be MF or this, or there'd be a bunch of Fs, and he'd talk about playing with himself and all kinds of shit. Just stuff that you would never say around certain people. And
it's like a little kid away from their parents. It's
Yes.
like, yeah, my fucking dad. Yeah, sucks. Fuck, dude. Yeah, kiss my ass. That bitch. Yeah, everything is. You're away from your parents. You're 7 years old, and you want to show how.
He made me uncomfortable. The kid made me uncomfortable. So I started going to school a different way, just so I can get away from, from this kid trying to peer pressure me into smoking a cigarette, or talk about playing with himself, or you know.
And now that kid owns Google.
It probably he probably does, but yeah, there was that weird, you know, there was that weird vibe, and this Mo kid had the same sort of vibe, but he did lose it.
I got a little bit. Well, I won't say, but I had other suspicions too.
He was definitely homophobic. He was definitely
takes one to know one.
Well, yeah, maybe I don't know, but he definitely had some problems. And he lost it. And he lost it that one time on air, Major League. It's crazy. But that will be one of our subscription episodes, Rocky. Him losing it. And RTQ having the great line and me just saying, and I'll say it now, I never, ever, ever said, I won't resign if you don't fire him. It was untrue. I never said it. My contract being re-signed had nothing to do with this guy. As much as if some people believe that or not, I don't know what to tell you. It's just not true. I sum up me the way the guy that I signed my contract with was a guy named Glenn Gardner. And I always thought Glenn had the best description of what it is that I did, which is he was like, you always put the comedy first. And that's always been the way I do broadcasting. Even today, the comedy is always first. Like, I don't give a shit about Trump. I don't give a shit about Biden. I don't care about that for broadcast. But here's what I care about. Making fun of Trump is funny. Making fun of Biden is funny. Making fun of Trump fans is funny.
That's the funniest.
Yes, I'm telling you, that's what I care about. I always go for what is funny. And that's why Glenn said, he goes, Ray, you'll always win. And I said, why? He goes, because you always choose the funny. And it was also why I hated being a talk show host, because
you know what, though? I think more than choosing the funny, you're a real person. You're a three-dimensional person. People that hear you on the radio think that they know you as a person because you have a life, you have a full, I don't mean, hey, I have a life, you don't have a life. I mean, you put your life on the air. People know who your wife is, your daughter, your friends, they know all your history. You're a real person. When it comes time to be serious, you can be serious. When it comes time to be dirty and outrageous, no, my God, I can't believe they just said that thing about, caught it while it was flying across the air. You do that too. There's so many other people that just have the one dimension. They have that's a one note thing. I'm here to say shocking things. That's it. Period.
Yeah,
That's
I thank you for that.
Don't expect me to be serious. Don't expect people to be endeared to me. Don't expect people to care to me. Don't expect me to be there when you need a charity. It'll sound ridiculous. I'm here to be shocking. That's it. One note.
And
that's a lot of people.
I am those. You're right. I've always taken pride in the fact that I am here, and that's what I want. And all I wanted was a radio company to respect me as much as I respected them, and I never got that. And I just wanted supportive listeners.
I don't think anybody gets that.
No, but it's always something I wanted. I came close with
me too, but it doesn't.
I came close. I came close with QLZ. But look, I just told you about the morningdisaster.com thing. Even today, it's not there. But I'm saying I did come close, and I do care about listeners. And I like the fact that even today, I start an internet stream and have a chat room, and all those people that go into our chat room, I consider all them friends. And when they talk to me, they talk like they're friends. Like Poolside Pat lives in St. Petersburg, Florida. I never see the guy. I think I've seen him once, in person, but I consider him a friend. That's just the way. Another one, listener Kathy. I've never met her. I consider her a friend. Brent, listener Brent, it's his birthday today. I just want to say happy birthday to Brent. But he lives up near Peoria. I never run it. He's just, I consider him a friend. That's just how we do things. And I'm not here to just be shocking. I'm here to be entertaining. That's all. That's what we're here for. Is it just?
But you can go
make
with
you
whatever the situation calls for. If you
Yeah.
want to, it's time to be dirty and shocking and outrageous, and people go, "Oh my God,
I can do that."
do that." If it's time to be serious, you're a real person. There's other people that are not. They're just characters.
Yeah.
A one-note character, and that's all that they bring to the table.
I have people that I like and I trust. Like, for example, when I was making the apps, we just got the apps. When I was making when we first started the Android app, I was given a copy of it. And so I went and chose random listeners to beta check the app for me. They were the ones that went and tested it. And
Said, "Yeah, this doesn't work."
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, no, not for me
That's what I
either.
mean. That's how I found out from them using it. And there were certain people that I said, here's a code, get the app and let me know what you find. That's how I did. Unfortunately, I didn't do it for the Apple. I probably should have. Then I would have known before we actually released it that the live button wasn't going to work. And by the way, they're hoping to get that taken care of this weekend. But anyway, that sort of sums me up. But I'll tell you another thing that sums me up is workout, and I have to work out today. Rocky, thanks for doing a show today, man. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank.
No problem.
I know
It's fun.
Nick's not on. He left like 20 minutes ago or whatever. And I want to thank him, and I want to thank Shawnee. Shawnee was on too. Of which, by the way, I really enjoyed playing those Sean Balint, the spokesperson. Those are some of my.
Yeah, I remember the funeral home because it's got one of my favorite lines or the sex one because it's got my favorite line about Taylorville. But I didn't remember the throat. Now I remember writing the throat spray one, but I'd forgotten all about that.
I'm telling you.
The honeymoon camera.
Right Slab Funeral Home and Intimate Moments Photography are two of my favorite bits of all time. I mean, the history of the Morning Disaster, those might be definitely two of my favorite parody commercial things of all time. Especially Right Slab. I think it is, to this day, I think it's one of the best things I've ever put on the radio. It's so
rip that stitching right out of his lips.
I just can't stop screaming about it. I just find it so funny. And I think the greatness of Sean Balint, like when Sean Balint dies, that will be the thing I will play to show how great.
How fit for a funeral home, right?
Yeah. I think that will be the thing that I would say. If you want to know how great this guy was, I want you to listen to this bit because he is so good in that bit. I mean, just top notch. But the Right Slab bit. So I'm glad we got a chance to play that and talk about it a little bit. But listen, guys, we are putting together what's going to happen on Friday mornings. We're going to create a subscription-based Friday show. Regular show just goes Monday through Thursday. The Friday shows are something different. And I hope you guys will somehow sign up. It's not going to be that much. It's going to be like $5 a month or whatever. And we're still putting the final touches. I know Nick is looking into some stuff to try to get it going, but it's basically going to be me, Rocky, and Nick, and everyone's invited, of course, but we're going to be the ones that are mostly doing it. And a lot of it might be just Rocky and I playing stuff and Nick asking us questions about it. That might be how we end up doing it. So I'll let you guys know next week how you could sign up or whatever to get it, but that's what's going to happen on Fridays. I hope you guys enjoyed what we did today, because I know Rocky, thank you. I enjoyed doing today's broadcast. It was a good time. And I thank everybody. It was a lot of fun. But coming up, we aren't going to do it for the first episode, but the Mo phone call will be one of which Rocky said. Maybe put it as the 7.
In a box and closed it, and
but it will be coming up.
That'll be it.
All right, that's it for today. Let's get out of here. It's going to wrap up today's edition of Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back Monday with a brand new show, which will start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So long, everybody. You better wake up
Sleepyhead, get your fat butt out of bed. There's a man who got up at 4 a.m. just to play you Zeppelin and Pearl Jam. Raymond Lytle is his name. Some have called him just a bit insane. But you may find him a little idiotic. But his is the only morning show you can say has really got it. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois' morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. Chamberlain Scott, Murphy Swords, Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. Michelle will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim made a remake of that movie called The Black Hole. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. The Central Illinois morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's morning disaster.
All right, we're going to wrap it up today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Be back Monday. You guys have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday with a brand new show. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching on Facebook as well. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend. So long, everybody.